This video is about how to set up your airless paint sprayer to get started spraying. First thing I'm going to do is take apart the sprayer tip assembly. Double check that my spray tip, I'm using a 515 spray tip for this job, spraying primer in kitchen, and just reattach this on here. Okay, I'm also going to check further down the attachment head. There's a filter inside, and I'm going to make sure that it's operational. Basically, in this case, as you can see, I've used this. Make sure there's no paint chips or anything in my filter here. Obviously, those will clog. If I put it away correctly, it should have been cleaned. Pull out the filter assembly. That's all right. Put it back in. Screw it back on. When I tear it down, if I have time, I'll shoot a video of cleaning it out and putting it away. But this particular brand of airless paint sprayer is not much of a hassle for that because it has a hose attachment. All right, so now to prime it, I need a bucket of clean water, and then any container, or if I'm outside, I can, well, better for the environment, I guess, put it in a container. All right, so I'm gonna take and this is the feed tube that is gonna go in the paint bucket, but we need to prime it. So for mine, it has a shut-off valve here. Oh, I should pull this out. It's better not to operate with that. So I'm gonna take, it has a paint screen, which should be checked. Make sure that it's good. Screws on. This actually has a hose connector, and when you clean it, you just push the hose right into the flush there. But this is what takes the paint up, and then it passes through the pump. And then this is the return tube, which will also go in the paint. And when we prime it, though, we put this return tube into a bucket here. And we're going to start it with water. And then once the pump is primed, we'll move it to the thicker paint. All right, so I think we're ready to plug it in. And, oh, I should say, before we do that, there's a little button here. That's to free the ball. Occasionally it gets stuck, and it needs to be free before you start the pump, or it will be jammed. I'm gonna make sure my pressure is turned all the way down to start. And, all right, let's get some power under this. Okay, so to prime the airless paint sprayer, I have the uptake tube in fresh water, and then the pass back tube here. I have the knob set to low pressure. I've primed the pump. I'm gonna go ahead and flick the power on. Then we're just gonna roll the knob to where it says start. Okay, and we're troubleshooting to see if there's going to be any issues here. I forgot there's a pressure knob over here that I want to make sure is in the proper position. So that's what you should not do. I started pumping it with the pressure on. You need to make sure that this is in prime, and you should have left it in prime mode instead of there. Okay, now we're going to do the same procedure, and we should start to get Okay, so we run it for about 30 seconds, then we're ready to switch it to paint. So now we have the feed tube in the paint, and the return tube, the prime tube from the sprayer into the excess bucket. We're going to turn the power up, and we're going to watch until paint starts to come out of this tube. Once it does, to prevent wasting paint, we will then take the exactly how we do it. Yep. We'll take the return tube, once you can see that it's paint, not too watery coming out of there. We take the return tube and put it in to the paint bucket. Okay, and we'll prime it up a little bit more. All right, and now if your spray tip was ready, then you would just be able to flick the button, but I'm gonna get my spray tube ready and then I'll flick it. We'll put pressure in the tube and I'll get all my safety gear on. So this is the spray tip nozzle in the forward direction, but when I first start spraying, just to make sure I don't have any issues, I like to turn around backwards to blow it out. This is also what you should do when you put it away. And we're going to repeat the same process that we did with the prime pump. Once we turn the pump power onto this, we'll spray it into the bucket until we see paints coming out. And then we'll flip that nozzle around and we'll be ready to spray. A good time for a safety announcement. You absolutely need a respirator, especially if you're working inside, but even if you're outside. This is a P95, link in the description. It's a Harbor Freight is where I got it from. I'm getting an affiliate commission for that, but there's like 20 bucks. And need some safety goggles of some kind. Deadly if you get this in the eye, and actually if you get it in your hand as well, or any part of your body, injection wounds. Okay, so now we flip it over. Now we're filling pressure in the gun. Give it a little more pressure so that I'm going to spray the gun in here until we start getting paint. We may have a jam. To clear the jam, I ended up having to take the top back off and spray directly through this hole. Again, when you do that, make sure you turn it to prime to release the pressure out first. Because you don't want pressure in the gun when you're unscrewing it. So I'm going to take this apart, clean it out again, and see if that solves the problem.